The following is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Blackmore. We are Wisconsin.
Welcome to Onalaska, Wisconsin, and welcome to the 2019 KRICK Three Rivers Roleo presented by STIHL. Coming to you from the banks of the Black River. Hi, everybody. I'm Bob Brainerd, along with my partner, John Hughes. Now, his nickname is the Mad Kiwi, so, John, don't be mad when I ask you to explain this sport, because not everybody understands what exactly is going on out there.
And, Bob, it may look like just a physical matchup, but there are some rules they have to abide by. Number one, you cannot step on or across the red line in the middle of the log. Number two, you cannot touch your opponent. Then, of course, the last person standing in control of the log before they go in the water will win the match. It's best 3 out of 5. And, of course, you can see there the size of the log, starting for the men with the 1 all the way down to the 4. And with the women, they start on the 2 log, 14-inch diameter, all the way down to the 12-inch. Some great competition on their way for us.
A perfect explanation, partner. Now, when you want to highlight who might be in the spotlight, who might be there in the end, look no further, John, than the top seeds.
Oh, truly, Livy Papadopoulos. This young lady, in her professional career, she's only lost, I believe, 4 or 5 rolls, let alone matches. This girl is phenomenal. She says it's fun to compete, and she just wants to do the best she can. She does that each and every day. On the men's side, it's kind of a who meets who. We know the top guys, they're here. We've got Connor and Garrick Birdsong, but Tanner Hallett seems to be the man on top this year, so we've got to watch out for both these great athletes.
Sit back and relax and let these awesome competitors do their thing. It's the 2019 KRICK Three Rivers Roleo coming at you next.
Kids and water, but what do they do after they've learned to swim? How do we keep them interested in swim lessons if their enthusiasm is waning? Are the adults in your facility looking for something completely different and challenging? Think about adding log rolling to your program. Close friendships develop as rollers are engaged in fun and fitness. Log rolling is an extremely safe activity for your pool, camp, or aquatic facility.
Now at Quick Trip, tasty fresh blends frozen drinks. And you'll never guess who's a big fan. Bernie loves making his favorite smoothies at Quick Trip. And with so many cool options, you'll find your favorite. Stop in and get a cup full of summer today. Fresh as your own kitchen, but quicker and way cooler. Get your summer on. Create your fresh blend smoothie with real fruit. Strawberry, strawberry banana, mixed berry, banana berry, and more. It's a sip of summer, and even better when you blend with a friend. Quick Trip, proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers.
The 2019 KRICK Three Rivers Roleo is presented by STIHL and by Explore Lacrosse. And welcome back. Beautiful Sunsplash Day here in Onalaska, Wisconsin. 2019 KRICK Three Rivers Roleo, and we are set to roll into our first female version in the semifinals, John Hughes, as you take a look at the bracket on how they got here. Papadopoulos, she is the #1 seed for a reason.
Oh, totally. Bob, this young lady has had very few falls, let alone losses, in her professional career, and she's coming into this one right on top like the rest of them. But Emily Christopherson, this gal, she's no slouch. From Portland, Oregon, she knows what it takes. She knows she's up against it. What can she pull out on this match?
Here they go. You're trying to take the fall. Best 3 out of 5 falls will advance you to the championship. Livy's on the left. On the right, Emily wearing the baseball cap.
A little easier to identify with the cap on. Thanks, Emily. And folks, that red line in the middle, remember, they cannot step on or across it, and they may not touch their opponent, but after that, anything goes. And if in a match like this, where it's a running match, meaning both girls are facing the same side of the log, it's more of an endurance race. We may see a little bit of intimidation coming, a little kick of the water with the foot, trying to get their opponent temporarily blinded, of course, and hopefully take advantage of it.
Emily, the seasoned veteran, 32 years old. She's been doing this for 22 years of her life. Loves the challenge, loves the fun. And Livy, just 18 years old, but she's already been rolling for 10 years, John.
Quite phenomenal. This young lady does powerlifting and does an incredible job. Speaking with her father earlier this morning, he just said it's incredible. Oh, there's a time in on that one.
So they go the distance on that first log.
That one being the 2 log, 14-inch, beg your pardon, 13-inch. Oh, it is 14-inch diameter for the ladies. That's what they start on. Now these logs are 12 feet long, western red cedar, very buoyant, as you can see the way it's floating up out of the water. When they get on there, of course, they have spiked shoes, which tears up this cedar wood. But these girls all have it for grip, and you'll see those logs wear down over the course of the competition. Probably about 23 spikes set in the sole of it on each shoe, so they have lots of control of these logs. And to the right there, that was a good shot of the log with the roughness from the cedar being ripped up. Now they're down to the next log, the blue log, a little bit smaller. This is only 13 inches in diameter. Again, 12 feet long, but because the diameter reduces, it spins a little quicker.
And now the footwork comes into play here. Livy, besides the powerlifting, also ran track and cross country in high school, so her footwork always an added bonus, and she uses it there to take the first fall.
This is sort of textbook Livy right now. It's interesting to be able to say there's a young lady that's really got it all together, but the tough part is for her competition. They've all seen what she's able to do, and they haven't been able to figure out a way to combat it. She's strong, she's quick, and so determined. When you say, why do you roll? Why do you log roll? I love to push myself to my best, to be my best. And that's what she brings each and every time she steps on a log.
Well, and a little birdie told us that she is almost, when she practices, it's almost too much. She pushes herself so hard that there are times maybe she needs to dial it down to relax and take a breath and enjoy life. But this is her life right now, John.
Exactly, and that's what she enjoys. She enjoys being on top. But one of the most important things for all these athletes is endurance along with power. And she maxes herself out every time she does it. So when it comes to a match like this, she's got lots of energy in the tank. Now, don't put these other athletes too far behind, because they all know what it takes to be good and to be champions, and they're all working to continue to develop their skills to take on these youngsters.
So now Christopherson again on the right in the cap, and down she goes. And Livy Papadopoulos up 2-0, taking the first 2 falls here in this semifinal. Little figuring one another out early, John, and now Livy just kind of throwing into another gear.
And you could see Emily's arm swinging. She was rotating. We call it helicopter. She's getting out of control and couldn't quite get her heels back. Livy in total control and just taking the fall.
The water here on the Black River, compared to 2018, a little higher. A lot more water from all the storms that came through here in the La Crosse area the past couple weeks. So, but a pretty calm sea, I would say, today.
Oh, truly, but an absolutely beautiful setting for an event like this. And Katie Rick with KRICK Log Rolling. Actually, it's Katie Burke now.
Katie
she
Burke
got
now.
married. So she has been our director for many years. This year, her brother Carl's in charge as Katie's rolling this year. And then we go back out to this match, 2-0 to Livy. She looks pretty strong now, but Emily's going to be grinding. She needs to get a handle on what's going on and try to combat this somehow.
You mentioned Katie Burke. She faced Livy in the quarterfinals, and Papadopoulos knocked her out of the competition. Christopherson trying to stay alive here. She beat Haley Penning to get here in this semifinal, and down she goes, and Livy Papadopoulos, the 2018 world champion, will once again try to capture the title here at the Three Rivers Roleo.
And once again, we saw Livy just in complete control up there. Got Emily on the back step, and she just couldn't keep up. Livy is looking so calm and collected here. She's probably breathing a little heavier, as she needs to be to keep herself amped up. But a great job for this young lady. She's moving through to the next round, and You know, that's the final round, Bob.
Just like that. So Livy Papadopoulos will indeed defend her crown here in Onalaska. Coming up when we return to the Black River, it's Ellie Davenport and Olivia Judge in our second women's semifinal. This is the 2019 KRICK Three Rivers Roleo presented by STIHL and Explore Lacrosse. Back here in Onalaska, Wisconsin, on the banks of the Black River, you see where the water level is. It's perfect today. It was up and over beyond the railroad tracks at one time.
But not quite, but
well, I like to tell fish stories.
that's the end of that log. We'll move down to the 13 and be underway again shortly.
How about Olivia? She is an attorney in Chicago. She's also the co-owner of Madison Log Rolling, and I love her note from last year. She managed to tie for fifth just 4 days. This was in the Lumberjack World Championships up in Hayward. She managed to tie for fifth 4 days before taking the bar exam. I mean, you talk about having a plate that is full. Olivia got it done. And up against Ellie Davenport, who's from St. Paul, going to school for elementary education. She's just 21. But she's been rolling since she was 13 years old.
Yeah, it's quite incredible. These athletes, you know, as we've talked about, the experience of you growing up in the sport is everything. But that doesn't mean we can't have older folks get involved. This is a fantastic sport for all. In fact, you could have a log like this at the cabin for the family to enjoy on every weekend, and a lot of the folks do. Here we see the slightly smaller log. This is 13 inches, again 12 feet long. Very buoyant 2 log here for the gals. Oh, big pardon, 3 log.
And John, on the smaller logs, now the weight will push you down into the water, and that becomes a challenge.
It does, especially if we see them get down to the 4 log, which is 12-inch diameter. We'll see less of the log above the water. But right now, these gals are in quite the little match here. Of course, it's 0-0. I don't expect too much to happen here. We can see them both having a little challenge on each other there, both trying to get control of the log. But notice their focus. They're looking at their, oh, there's a little kick from Ellie, and it worked.
It worked. That's our first splash, and yes, you can do that. That is legal.
Exactly. The rules are the red line in the middle, don't step on or across it. Do not touch your opponent. After that, anything goes. You know, years ago, they used to spit snooze in each other's eyes.
Excuse me?
Oh, that was just, we gave that up 3 weeks ago. Sorry, that's right. But as you could see, Ellie using the right foot, reaching down into the water, a little kick up. You know, it probably didn't get into Olivia's eyes, and that's what they're trying to do, just to temporarily blind them. But it took her by surprise, and then Ellie followed up the kick with a good move to put her in. So that's 1 fall to Davenport in the lead.
Ellie won this event back in 2016 when she was the world champ. She's got 12 pro victories. Only Shauna Verstegen has has more since 2006. So this young lady has accelerated in this sport at a very rapid pace.
Truly, and to interview her way back when she first started and came into the pros, it was like, oh, you know, I just really love what I'm doing, and it's fun. But through the years, as she's matured, her rolling has also matured, so she's just got better. But now she has a lot of interesting things to say about her training regimen and what she does to focus correctly for each and every match. And even though she's up one fall here, she is totally dedicated to what's happening because she knows Olivia has the goods to come back on her.
Olivia almost bites it, and then she does. She momentarily, John, looked like she was going to fall forward. She regained her composure there, but then on the backside, Ellie just took care of business.
Right, and when your body's leaning forward, your toes start to go down the wrong side of the log, and that's exactly what happened. When Ellie could see that happening, she gave it a quick heel, kicking the log, and so Olivia wasn't able to recover. That's 2-1. 2-0, big fun.
2-0, yeah. Olivia Judd now going to have to try to battle back here, take the next 3 falls if she wants to advance to the championship.
And of course, you mentioned already Ellie's abilities. She's in 2016 winning the World Championships, and it's like, what tournament finish are you most proud of? And she says that every day, even now, that her most proud moment was winning that title. The first one seems to always linger there.
So on the doorstep here is Ellie Davenport, ranked number 3 in the elite women's side. She'll try to take care of the match here, and then she can prepare to try to knock off the defending champ, Livy Papadopoulos. So third time, see if it's a charm for Ellie Davenport.
Again, very composed at the beginning of this roll. I'm not sure how much time there is left on this log. Sometimes the girls will realize there's only maybe 20 seconds left, and they might say, okay, we'll just roll this out, and then the competitiveness will make someone have a go at the log just before that time's up. So we've got to understand strategy along with fitness and strength is everything.
See the boats that have anchored in the background. They've got choice seats for this KRICK Three Rivers Roleo. Ellie navigating through, keeping an eye on Judd. Olivia.
You can hear the wind blowing, but also see it. It's turned the log. Now these gals are feeling that wind hit their body, so now they're competing against Mother Nature, plus the water, and their opponent on that log.
Judd's trying to hang in there here against Davenport.
A lot of propeller arms going on there, but she's fighting back well and very strong.
And Ellie Davenport survives to take that final fall and take this match 3-love. It'll be Davenport and Papadopoulos in the final, John.
Well, and we must say that Ellie had a lot more work to do in this one. Watch the end moments of this. Olivia fighting hard, but the propeller wings going there, and finally Ellie just took her in. A bit of a dunk there for Ellie, making sure she clears away any cobwebs. She'll get back to the dock and be ready for the next match.
So it will be Livy Papadopoulos against Ellie Davenport for all the marbles on the ladies' side. When we return here to Onalaska, Wisconsin, the elite men down to the Final Four. Our first semifinal is next.
Kids and water, but what do they do after they've learned to swim? How do we keep them interested in swim lessons if their enthusiasm is waning? Are the adults in your facility looking for something completely different and challenging? Think about adding log rolling to your program. Close friendships develop as rollers are engaged in fun and fitness. Log rolling is an extremely safe activity for your pool, camp, or aquatic facility.
Back here in Alaska, and now it's time for the men to take to the water. Well, you want to take the log before you take to the water. Our semifinals are set. Tanner Hallett will face Shane Burns. Look at the brackets. This is how they made their way into the semifinal, and Tanner Hallett coming in as the #1 ranked male on the elite side from Oconomowoc, Wisconsin. Shane Burns in at #8. He's from nearby La Crosse. And out they go as we bring Carl Rick in to also talk to us about the tournament. Hey, Carl.
How's it going today?
Oh, we're Sunsplash Day. It's spectacular. Now, these guys, as they maneuver here in the early going, tell us about the early origins of how this all got started here.
Well, this all got started here. Onalaska is a river town. We had a sawmill operating on this site, and to get the logs from the forest, you didn't have railroads or roads, so you dumped them in the water and floated them down and collected them once they got to the sawmill, and somebody had to do that dangerous work, and out of that we got the sport of log rolling.
And a pretty good sport it is. Also river piggers and stuff, the guys running around with the poles, and of course these guys here have taken the sport to a whole new level compared to those days of looking after the logs coming in.
Absolutely. They used to roll on much bigger timber, up around 25, 30 inches in diameter, and this log that they're out right now is only 15 inches. It's half the size. They're floating a lot lower in the water, much more difficult to master, and the sport's come so far, especially in the last 30, 40 years. Matches used to last hours, and now we're down to minutes because they're so much better.
Timed out on this first log. Tanner Hallett, just to set the competitors here. Tanner, you can't miss Tanner. He's 6'5". He's the big tall guy. And Shane Burns is the blonde-haired kid from La Crosse. He's the youngin' there at 21 years old. He's been rolling for 12 years, and Tanner's only 20. So this, Carl, these guys are really the future of this sport because they're so good and so young.
Big time. You watch them, they're both so much more patient than they used to be. They're much more in control. They used to be jittery when they run a bucking match like this and pushing off the dock. You had a hard time getting to start, lots of action.
Down goes Burns. Shane Burns into the water first, so Tanner Hallett up 1-0, taking the first in the best of 5.
Log rolling is one of those mano-a-mano sports, and the head game is just as important as the physical game. It's you and your opponent, and that's it. There's no coaching, there's nobody else, there's no timeouts. You got to get back to the dock and collect yourself. And being on the log now for a couple of years for both these guys, they've made great strides in collecting their thoughts, calming the heart rate down, and getting back out there to a fresh start once you're down a fall.
Okay, so you mentioned when they get back on the dock. From what I understand, the rules state that when both athletes are up on the dock, it's a 30-second time starts, and that's when they're able to take a drink of water, towel off, talk to their coach if they have one on stage, and then it's turn around and get back to the action. But is there any sportsmanship that happens in that time?
Oh, absolutely. It really depends on how well these guys know each other. If it's a great fall or if it's a bad fall, you might compliment the guy, talk a little trash to him. I know I used to do that quite a bit with one of my good friends. We were in each other's weddings when we used to roll each other. So there's some of that going on for sure, and some guys, it really depends on the personality.
Now, if you want to know a little more about Tanner Hallett, this guy, he builds and races Baja race cars for Cornell. So from one extreme on dry land into the water, this guy is a true top man.
And he'll get the second fall as, once again, Shane Burns goes down. A little quicker work that time. But Tanner, the current world champion, won that last year. He was runner-up, Carl, at your event here last year. He fell to Connor Birdsong, so you know he wants to get back in that title match.
Oh, absolutely. It's harder to defend than it is to get there in the first place. Again, another part of that mental aspect is being ready to go once you've already done it.
Sure. Everyone's after the king. They want to knock you off the throne. So Tanner knows what that feels like now.
You saw Tanner, he did a great job of dropping his hips there, getting low, and be ready for that log to switch directions and pop back up, because Shane, quite frankly, was already in the water and beat.
You don't see a lot of competitors at 6'5", not a lot of taller guys. You see the more power-packed people, but what advantage does he have with this frame, Carl?
With that frame, quite frankly, he's got longer levers, especially in his arms. When he gets out of control and swinging, he's got that extra reach to try and pull himself back up the log, and he can drop his butt that much farther down when he's in trouble going backwards.
People would say, well, it's all relative. A man is a man, whether they're tall or short. But the fact of the matter is, size does matter in this sport, just like many others.
And there's your
And there's your size.
Yep,
Size does matter indeed.
Size absolutely matters, especially in a bucking match like that. The bigger guy is going to have control of the log, and in that case, Shane had to simply follow along.
And an absolute dominating move there by Tanner. Each time he's been in complete control, Shane gets a little shaky, and Tanner just says, okay, I got this, and he moves on to the finals.
Carl Rick, thanks for stopping by. We know you're busy, so we'll let you go.
Mr. Show Director, thank you.
Thank you.
Up next, it'll be Anthony Polentini against Connor Birdsong. Will we have a repeat matchup for the title in 2019 from 2018? Stick around and find out.
Now at Quick Trip, tasty fresh blends frozen drinks. And you'll never guess who's a big fan. Bernie loves making his favorite smoothies at Quick Trip. And with so many cool options, you'll find your favorite. Stop in and get a cup full of summer today. Fresh as your own kitchen, but quicker and way cooler. Get your summer on. Create your fresh blend smoothie with real fruit. Strawberry, strawberry banana, mixed berry, banana berry, and more. It's a sip of summer, and even better when you blend with a friend. Quick Trip, proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers.
Kids and water, but what do they do after they've learned to swim? How do we keep them interested in swim lessons if their enthusiasm is waning? Are the adults in your facility looking for something completely different and challenging? Think about adding log rolling to your program. Close friendships develop as rollers are engaged in fun and fitness. Log rolling is an extremely safe activity for your pool, camp, or aquatic facility.
Welcome back to Onalaska, Wisconsin. And full house here on the shores of the Black River. Now it's time for semifinal number 2, and you've got the number 2 ranked male, Connor Birdsong, against number 3, Anthony Polentini. Birdsong won this event last year, knocking off Tanner Hallett, John, so he's trying to get back to defend that title. Anthony taking care of Brian Duffy in his quarterfinal, while Connor Birdsong, again, he had to come back. He lost the first fall, but then took the next 3 against Matt Delaney.
And, you know, we've got to mention Anthony Polentini, 17 years old. His first match was against Brian Duffy from Hayward, Wisconsin. I think 3 or 4-time world champion. Brian is 50 years old, folks, and still one of the most incredible athletes, and taking on those youngsters and did very well. But Polentini's youth overcame, and he is in this matchup now against, as you mentioned, a guy that's been the champion here. So maybe this is his turn to come out of the limelight. Or into the limelight.
You want to be near the limelight. You want to be in the neighborhood of the limelight. Limelight is good.
You can see both guys very close to that center line. Remember, the red line, you cannot step on it or across it, and you can't touch your opponent, but that's a great shot there to show how close their feet get. But look at their inside hands. If they start waving those around, they could strike each other. We have 3 judges on the dock watching very closely to make the call, and if there's an infraction, they will blow the whistle and call it and give a fall to whoever did not make the infringement.
Haven't seen any of the men try the splashing technique yet. They're just more focused on the footwork.
Well, you know, everyone's focused on footwork all the time. They have to be. But they also realize that these guys are so big and strong and quick that if you take a chance to splash water, that might be to your demise. Because if your opponent sees it coming, he can give a pull with the toes or a kick with the heel and just put you right in. So these guys are absolutely 100% watching their opponent's feet. If there's ever a split second that they're stationary, that's their chance to have a go at them. Oh.
Down goes Connor.
Wow. Anthony just kept pulling there. Connor got on the back foot and couldn't get his heels up and dropped right in. That will be something Connor's not too happy about. Remember, here it is. What a great video shot here. Yeah, Connor was on his heels, and Anthony knew what he had to do. Just keep pull, pull, pull. He's got his big toes reaching across the log and pulling back, and Connor just couldn't catch up.
So Polentini 1-0 in the best of 5. Takes the first fall. A little more strength there, John, by Anthony to just outmaneuver his opponent, Connor.
Something of interest, though, in Connor's first match, he also lost the first fall. Then he came back 3 straight on his opponent. Can he do that again? And as you mentioned earlier, when he had that good win, he came back from 2-1 down twice to get to that position. So we know this young man has the strength mentally and the strength physically to do it. Can he put it together here?
He's got 4 pro wins, including this event last year, 9 top 3 finishes.
7, 6.
For Polentini, his proudest moment last year, he took first place at the U.S. Log Rolling Open, and that was his first win as a professional. As John mentioned, you always remember the first one. Now he's hoping to get a victory here in Onalaska.
So in previous matches for Connor, his last loss was against Tanner Hallett at the U.S. Log Rolling Open this year. So he's wanting to turn everything around.
Birdsong in trouble, but regains and steadies himself.
Anthony's doing a very good job of having control over this log and putting Connor in a bad position. Connor's fighting hard to try to get back. This could be messing with the psyche a little. He may not have expected Anthony to be so strong. Now the wind's blowing a little too.
Yeah, Birdsong fighting it to be sure, and Polentini trying to take advantage.
Polentini looks so stable on top of the log right now. Almost so relaxed, but you know the tension is built. Oh, and there's another fall to Polentini.
Anthony in charge, large and in charge, up 2-0 now, and 1 fall away from punching his ticket into the final against Tanner Hallett.
And here it is, Anthony just looking pretty controlled, but a little wave there, but that was at the very end of the fall. He had the windmill arms going, but he already had Connor on the back step, and there was no way to recover. A great fall there for Anthony.
We saw Livy Papadopoulos, who will defend her title on the women's side. She and Connor have been practicing together. They're both from the area.
Yeah, it's interesting. For a lot of the women, they don't have other strong females to train with, so they'll train with the guys. And of course, in this case, with Livy being as strong and as fast as she is, she's a great one for Connor to train with. But of course, coming up to this, Connor has his big brother Garrick to train with too, who's just as big as he is, and preparation. Anthony, boy, this guy, he's got to set himself now. He's either thinking, okay, go out for blood, I've got him down 2, I'm going to take this out, or he may just say, okay, I'm in control of this match, I don't have to do anything silly, I'll just see how this one rolls out.
So here we go. Polentini again on the right with the headband. Connor Birdsong on the left, trying to fight to stay alive in this match.
Connor's getting very close to the white line there, 1 off the red. They're both actually pretty close there. A great action shot there. You can see the way those spikes just dig into the cedar log. Oh, he's back foot again. 3 straight for Polentini.
I'll tell you what, I thought Connor had it. I thought he had Polentini on the ropes, and the tables turned quickly, didn't they?
They certainly did. Boy, this is one of those falls that, as you say, it could have gone either way. And while we're watching this great close-up of the water splashing, white water means action in log rolling, and we could see again right here, Polentini was lifting his feet up out of the water and splashing on the other side. He takes him down and moves on to the finals.
And a big celebration splash into the Black River, and a big smile out of Anthony Polentini. He gets the #1 ranked log roller on the elite men's side, Tanner Hallett in the championship. When we return to Onalaska, the women will go at it for all the marbles. Papadopoulos and Davenport.
Kids and water, but what do they do after they've learned to swim? How do we keep them interested in swim lessons if their enthusiasm is waning? Are the adults in your facility looking for something completely different and challenging? Think about adding log rolling to your program. Close friendships develop as rollers are engaged in fun and fitness. Log rolling is an extremely safe activity for your pool, camp, or aquatic facility.
The 2019 KRICK Three Rivers Roleo is presented by STIHL and by Explore Lacrosse. Back here in Onalaska, Wisconsin on a gorgeous day, and now it has come to this. Down to the final two, the final for the 2019 KRICK Three Rivers Roleo. On the ladies' side, Livy Papadopoulos, the defending champ, taking on Ellie Davenport. Ellie,
all the way to the end of the poles,
up for the challenge here, no doubt.
Talking to Ellie, she said, you know, I've been there a few times with this gal now. I'm starting to get it. And it's like, okay, small steps are everything. And Ellie, after being the champion for so long, she's not prepared to just say, well, I've had my time. She's wanting to get right back on top. So she's got a strategy. She knows what she needs to do. She just hopes she can apply it and take Livy down.
So again, Davenport on the left in the orange cap, Papadopoulos on the right.
Again, fairly calm. Oh, there's some white water.
Papadopoulos fighting it. Now Davenport steadies herself.
Wow, great recovery there. Ellie got down on the front side of the log and managed to get back up. Livy is trying to be very controlling here.
Each one trying to get the other one on their heels, and then when they see that action, as you said, John, with the white water beginning to splash, someone wants to pounce.
Truly. And it's such an instinctive reaction. They can't think about it. They've got to just do it. Otherwise, they're going to be in the water. And from the years that these girls have been competing, that's exactly how it happens. Obviously, their minds are like computers, thinking about all the times that this happened, that happened. They're looking at what the feet are doing now. Both these, oh!
And down goes Davenport. And Papadopoulos, she'll take that one because Ellie almost regained her composure, almost stayed on that log, John, but Livy had a little extra.
Yeah, it was textbook Livy's strength and control there. She just got Ellie down on the front side of the log, and she could not get back up out of there. So that's one to Livy. Again, her record stands pretty good for falls.
Do you think that she knows that Ellie's the one who gives her the toughest challenge? That's got to be in the back of her mind.
Well, you know, because of oh, here's a great replay angles. You see Ellie was on her toes on the front side of the log. Livy saw that and said, well, I know where to put you now. And she just had strong heel motion. And Ellie just couldn't climb back up on top. But now, you know, the computers are working. Ellie said, damn it, that happened. I wasn't going to let that happen. She's got to stop that. But can she do anything to stop Livy taking the control?
And Papadopoulos, too, the counter for her is, all right, she's got me a couple times, but how do I outsmart her here on my home turf, so to speak?
You know, I think with Livy's strong work ethic, but also such a strong mind, which all these girls have, don't get me wrong, but at 18, she's really got herself set for future greatness. If it's already here, but it's just going to get better.
Ellie going to school collegiately up in St. Paul, studying for elementary education. Someday she'll tell her students about this, and judges will enter here.
My call is for a thumbs up on that one. It looks so very even, but we wait for the official judges. Yeah, it's a draw.
It's a draw.
And that's a good call, John Hughes, because this is almost simultaneously going into the drink.
Super slow-mo, and what they're looking for, the judges are looking for one of the rollers to be a foot on the log and in control before they go in, but both girls going in the water together. You can see Livy reaching out with her right foot as she's already fallen backwards. It'll be the last motion you see as they go down, Allie goes down, Livy's off, the right foot trying to get control, but no, the slap doesn't cut it, Bob. That's a draw.
And no, folks, no replay yet in professional log rolling.
Truly. We have our eye judges there. These guys and gals have been professionals for us in this sport for many years. They travel the country to help out, ensure that the rules are upheld. And of course, the competitors love knowing that the people that are calling them are consistent from one show to the next.
So back at it, Papadopoulos up 1-0 in the best of 5, taking the first fall against Ellie Davenport.
Now that last tie has got to give Allie a lot of confidence. She knows, and she's faking like she's going to kick water there. That could be a dangerous move, but Allie now knows that she's got something on her. She's figured something out and she's fighting hard, and that's exactly what she needs. Livy, of course, is saying, hang on, this isn't supposed to happen. I haven't lost many falls to this gal, maybe 4 in total, and I want to be the one in control of this match. Great close-up of the feet there. Slapping down on the log. Both of them put their left heel back and the right toes forward. If they could cup the log and keep it still, that's how they would have it. But of course, if you have your feet still on the log, your opponent's going to see that and make a move to put you in.
Mentioned that Livy been rolling for 10 years, and she grew up as a kid watching and participating and getting a feel for this river at this event. This is where she fell in love with the sport.
And Katie Burke, our regular show director, has actually been Livy's coach, brought her up through the amateur ranks. There's the time.
Timeout on that log, so they will hit the drink and head to the next log. And now things start to get a little interesting when you start going down on these logs, John. You're going to see a little bit quicker action.
Tremendously, but also because it's smaller diameter, the buoyancy isn't quite there as much. So we'll see a little more action here, and of course, there's no time limit on this smaller log. We have to get a winner, and right now it's just 1 fall to Livy, 0 to Ellie, but they did have a draw in there.
There's Ellie Davenport's coach, sporting the team orange. We'll go over. Yeah, you can have a coach, and the coach can discuss with you between rolls, but once they're out there on their own, there's no shouting, no yelling, no hand signals. You are all on your own solo style.
Right, and of course we make sure the coaches stay well back from the edge of the dock. We want to have complete visibility for our camera crew, doing an incredible job today. Some of these shots are quite amazing, to allow the folks at home get a real feel for the action out here.
Safety, clear to the end.
We're lucky to be in a position to watch it on monitor and live, Bob, and it's amazing to see the gestures from the competitors you may not see on the screen at times, and then it pans back like this and you can see everything that's going on. And these athletes are truly working hard.
And working hard is Davenport. Again, orange cap on the left. Papadopoulos takes her down and goes up 2-0.
And we went to this 12-inch log, smaller diameter, a lot quicker moving, and even though Ellie is theoretically a faster foot movement roller, she got outstepped here. She got down on the face of the log again, and much like the first fall, Livy could see that happening and said, I'm going to control this again, and down she goes.
So 1 fall away, and Livy Papadopoulos will become a back-to-back champion here at the Three Rivers Roleo. Let me ask you this, John. Do certain rollers prefer certain logs? Like, if I can get to this log, I know I can dominate.
Well, definitely, and it depends on your body weight and size and strength. The bigger the log, the harder it is to control. So if you're a bigger, stronger roller, it's obviously more in the men's division. We see that because these gals are also fit and sleek. They're out there jumping around pretty quickly, but the power in the legs means everything. And if they can gain some control because they're on a log that they like, and it might be mentally that size log is their preferred, which is, I'm sure, what you're referring to. Now look how low this log is floating. Oh! And there it is.
There it is. Just like that. It didn't take Livy Papadopoulos long. Ellie Davenport And mom and dad, yep, proud as they were in 2018. She is now a back-to-back champion here at the KRICK Three Rivers Roleo.
And the smiles coming out from both these gals. Great sportsmanship, but you can see it didn't take long for this second fall, or the third fall I should say. Again, Libby was just controlling and got Allie on the face of the log, and she just outstepped her. A small wave of the arms in joy. The hug on top of the stage. Great stuff from both of these fine athletes, but a fantastic win for Livy.
I would say she prefers that other log. She did quite well, that young lady. When we come back, one final roll. Those two individuals, those two young men, Anthony Polentini and Tanner Hallett, will go for all the marbles here in Onalaska.
Kids and water, but what do they do after they've learned to swim? How do we keep them interested in swim lessons if their enthusiasm is waning? Are the adults in your facility looking for something completely different and challenging? Think about adding log rolling to your program. Close friendships develop as rollers are engaged in fun and fitness. Log rolling is an extremely safe activity for your pool, camp, or aquatic facility.
Yeah, the trains are even cooperating today, John Hughes. Sometimes they blast through here in Onalaska during the competition, but they will let the goods and the freight pass through before our men's championship between Anthony Polentini, who turns 18 next month, against the old grizzled veteran, that's Tanner Hallett, who's 20 years old.
Yes, 6'5", as you mentioned before, and 20 years old. These two guys are really, yeah, they are the champions of the future. But, oh, hang on, Tanner's already a champion, and we saw Anthony take out Connor Birdsong, a past champion here. So is it going to be a new king today? Let's see how Anthony does. Again, a bucking match. And watch how close Anthony is to the center of that log. He wants to not crowd him, but let him know he's here and make sure that he has his best chance to take control of this log.
And again, a quick reset. Tanner Hallett was in the Roleo title matchup last year. He fell to Connor Birdsong 3-1. Polentini, though, takes care of Birdsong to punch his ticket here into the title matchup.
Polentini, only 17 years old, from Heartland, Wisconsin, goes to Arrowhead High School. It just doesn't seem right to talk about a high school student going for a title like this, but these guys are incredible athletes.
Polentini, runner-up at the Midwest Championships and the U.S. Open. He lost to Hallett in both. So they've already seen each other plenty in 2019.
Truly, and the time limit of 1 minute over on that 15-inch log. Now they'll drop to the white log, the 14-inch, and they'll have 3 minutes to get through. Now, as we get to a smaller diameter again, it gets a little quicker, but also the buoyancy is less. So when you get these two big lads on there, you're going to see the log ride a lot lower in the water. Right now, as it's coming out, you can see it way up, nearly 2/3 of the log out of the water. Wait till these boys get on there and see how it sinks. And you'll see it right here as they step on.
All the way out to the end of the
Yeah,
pole.
almost down. Now, as the log starts to turn, of course, that sucks it down into the water too. So pretty soon, their shoes are going to be splashing in the water along with having to look after that guy on the other end.
Not a whole lot of real estate to work with here as Polentini on the left, Hallett on the left. Hallett, the current world champion. He was the first teen to win the world title last year when he was still 19, since J.R. Salzman did it in 1998.
I got to tell you, Anthony's being very cool, calm, and collected here.
You saw that.
Tanner's, oh, wow.
He was
Yes.
John Hughes, and then Tanner Hallett said, into the drink you go.
Yeah, it was a case of what have I got going here? Tanner was trying to make things happen, and Anthony just looked super controlled. Then all of a sudden, Tanner said, okay, I know what I got to do. And he was able to fight hard and keep his heels back, and it slid Anthony right down on the face of the log. Now Anthony's going to put that in. His shoulders got back. He just couldn't pull himself back up. Tanner knows now, okay, if he's going to try that, I know what I can do against it. It's a head game. These guys are both big, strong athletes. They're fit. They've been doing this for so many years. And as our show director, Carl Rick
All the way to
mentioned,
the end of your poles.
it's not only body, it's
All the way
mind.
to the end. A little bit
And
further,
soul.
gentlemen.
You got to have
And
the
soul,
soul,
yes.
right? Body and soul. Got to have the soul of a log roller.
Sounds like a song.
So 1-0. Tanner Hallett in this best of 5. Polentini, we talked about his composure. We saw that in his matchup with Birdsong. He was the more composed individual, and he's been that way early on.
Yeah, but we saw what happened when the wood started to fly. Those chips of that cedar log were flying as their spikes were ripping through it, and the white water was coming up as the action happened, and Tanner took control with his heels back and put him in. Can he duplicate that and make it happen again? Once again, these guys are fighting for control. They want to use the power that they have to control this log. It's a bucking match. Facing opposite directions.
Looks like they're getting ready to dance with one another. They are both close to that center line, John.
This is mano a mano. These guys are fighting hard. Every one of these athletes make it look so easy, Bob. It makes you feel like you and I could get out there and do it, but not a chance. And there it goes. Tanner just taking control of that. It almost looked like Anthony got a little weary at the end and just gave up, but he felt like he was going forward on the log, and that's exactly where he ended up. Tanner looks so composed.
I think you're right, John. I think exhaustion right there, because he just almost looked like he said white flag time.
Yeah. He knew he was going down, so at that stage, there was no reason to fight. He might have just said, okay, I got to go in, but the old adage there, he got a little cedar in the cedar. But he's got a sly smile there. It's like, okay, his judges come out and he's talking to him. He was over there talking to both of the guys, helping them understand what's going on and what they can do. So the sportsmanship of the family, as I mentioned, log rolling is a big family. They're all out to help each other, and great competition is what they want. Right now, Tanner's up 2-0.
And Polentini trying to stay alive. He'll need this fall to do just that.
And again, they look so composed here, but I can't imagine this match going past this log. There's going to be too much white water here in just a few seconds. It doesn't take long. They seem to be in great composure, and then the fireworks start, and look at that.
So Polentini will take that fall. 2-1 now as Hallett goes into the Black River. Did you see anything different in Anthony's approach there, John?
You know, I have to bring it back to the fact that Tanner's dad was on the dock helping them both. So he may have been able to trigger something in Anthony's mind to say, remember, you got to look at this. But you can actually see there, Tanner's right foot slipped down on the inside of the log. And once that happened, he was just fighting so hard to get back. Anthony could see he was in control after the slip and just knew what he had to do. He just had to ride it out. Tanner went in on his own.
So now Anthony Polentini still has life here. Needs to get this fall and then force the issue to come down to one final roll.
Now after that, John Hallett, Tanner's dad, is talking to just him. You know, Anthony went over and got a drink of water. He got right back to the log ready to go. John was talking to Tanner and saying, okay, this, that, whatever. We don't know what it is, but you know, because John was such a fine roller and is a fine coach, he's saying things to help these guys, especially Tanner now. Of course, he would like his son to be the champion again, but all's fair in sports nowadays.
Tanner probably said something along the lines, hey, Dad, bloodlines, okay? Bloodlines, let's go. So Tanner Hallett, 6'5" on the right of your screen. Anthony Polentini needs this fall. And then we go down to one final roll. Will we get there?
No.
No, we won't.
Wow.
Tanner Hallett survives. And he is the 2019 KRICK Three Rivers Roleo champ on the elite men's side of the bracket.
What incredible rolling we've seen here. These guys and gals have done a tremendous job. Remember, they came up through the early brackets. They did everything they had to do to get to the top, and here's where Tanner took control right at the end of this. Oh boy, Anthony knew he had got too far over the log. Tanner noticed that and just said, I know what to do. I'm just going to pull you in. And that 6'5" frame and strength, he had those limbs running and did just that.
Good things come in tall packages in this case. When we come back to Onalaska, we will hand out the hardware, and John Hughes, the Mad Kiwi, will talk to our champs.
Kids and water, but what do they do after they've learned to swim? How do we keep them interested in swim lessons if their enthusiasm is waning? Are the adults in your facility looking for something completely different and challenging? Think about adding log rolling to your program. Close friendships develop as rollers are engaged in fun and fitness. Log rolling is an extremely safe activity for your pool, camp, or aquatic facility.
Now at Quick Trip, tasty fresh blends frozen drinks. And you'll never guess who's a big fan. Bernie loves making his favorite smoothies at Quick Trip. And with so many cool options, you'll find your favorite. Stop in and get a cup full of summer today. Fresh as your own kitchen, but quicker and way cooler. Get your summer on. Create your fresh blend smoothie with real fruit. Strawberry, strawberry banana, mixed berry, banana berry, and more. It's a sip of summer, and even better when you blend with a friend. Quick Trip, proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers.
Serenity now here in Onalaska. Not earlier. Good time was had by all, especially our champs of the 2019 KRICK Three Rivers Roleo, Livy Papadopoulos and Tanner Hallett. They are standing by with John Hughes.
Well, thanks, Bob. Hey, I'm with our two champions. Ladies first, Livy, fantastic roll, and you keep your record going. What is it that gives you the confidence to roll so well?
Well, I train all year long. Last year after World Championships, I was on the log again the next day. I pushed myself really hard. Of course, if I'm injured or something happens like that, I take a little bit of a break, but I work pretty much all year, and this is kind of my passion. It's what I work for and what I live for.
And we can't not talk about the fact that there's been very few rolls that you've lost. You know, the fall count is quite incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I push myself really hard in practice, and I guess it pays off on the water, but of course it's not easy. It's never easy. You think doing all kinds of deadlifting and squatting and running and everything is going to make up for it, but I get on the log in 30 seconds out there, I'm out of breath, my legs are aching. It's a really tough sport, but that's why I love it so much.
Well, congratulations on another great win. I know we'll see you again next year. And Tanner, man, a little bit of a challenge this time. You had a different opponent in Anthony. We all expected to see Connor up there, but Anthony came in and he made you work a little harder.
Yeah, Anthony had a fantastic match. He made me pull out some recoveries and really push me to the limit.
And for you, another win this season. Got to make you feel pretty confident going forward?
Yeah, I'm off to a good start. We'll just keep working hard, and hopefully it can continue on for the rest of the season.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations to both our champions here. Bob, back up to you.
All right, John, Livy, Tanner, thank you. And thank you to Katie Burke, the tournament director who runs the show. Thank you to our sponsors from STIHL and Explore Lacrosse. Thank you for watching the 2019 KRICK Three Rivers Roleo. For my partner John Hughes, Bob Raynard saying so long, and we hope you enjoy.